You could say that Iowa is gearing up for its own version of the Hunger Games with the GOP caucuses just over a month away. Now, 4 years ago, here's a little refresher, Senator Rick Santorum pretty much shocked everybody by winning in the Hawkeye state, but a voting mishap delayed his victory by weeks and caused him to miss out on what he claims would have been a crucial campaign boost. Let's bring him in now. With just a few weeks to go, Senator Rick Santorum hoping to be the dark horse this time around once again. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Liz. Good to be back.
Okay, let's just tackle the elephant in the room first, because everybody's talking about it. We can get that out of the way, and that is this. Iowa's 5 weeks away. You're the Republican defender, but that was a long time ago. If you don't win Iowa, Senator, will you have to back out of the race?
Well, I think it all depends on how the race shakes out. I think historically Iowa's punched 3 or 4 tickets coming out. 4 years ago, we were number 2 when we came out of Iowa. We ended up being number 1 a few weeks later. But number 2 was a great place for us, and we took advantage of it. And in fact, raised more money the next day than we did the previous year. So it's an opportunity for a first, second, third, maybe even fourth, depending on how close it is. If you can do well, and again, it's a big field, 13 people. If you can finish in the top echelon, that's a great start for your campaign.
Okay, you just answered my question, because I was going to say, okay, what about fourth? Because Governor Huckabee has said if he doesn't place in the first 3, he's out. So fourth would still be okay with you?
I think it all depends on, where fourth is. If fourth is, that far behind third, that's one thing. If fourth is that far behind third, it's another thing. So okay. I think we have to just sort of wait and see. I feel very comfortable that we're building some momentum in Iowa, and we're going to surprise a lot of folks again.
I'm going to give you a chance right here on Countdown to the Closing Bell, because, given where you are in the overall polls, in the Fox poll, you're barely registering, about 1%. Say something here that you haven't said before that's going to make you stand out. You have nothing to lose here, and I'm not saying pull a Trump. That's not your style at all, and I don't think your followers and your fans would want you to. But what is it? Is it lower the corporate tax rate to 0 and then raise the minimum wage? You've been passionate about raising the minimum wage for the lower income earners. What is it, sir, that would get you more votes right here and now?
All I can say is that what got me the votes last time was not doing those things, was actually being the responsible person who's the responsible, effective conservative, who's got a track record of delivering, who's someone who's going to tell you the truth, be honest, authentic, not going to go out and say outrageous things just to get attention, but really focus on what's important for those working men and women that you just talked about. You're right. I'm the candidate that's been sort of the blue-collar candidate, the person who's been out there articulating a message for restoring manufacturing, for creating better jobs for the 74% of Americans who don't have a college degree. Those are the issues that I think will resonate once people in Iowa start to make those decisions come January.
A lot of candidates mush together on certain things, but you do not. Okay, so it looks as if, let's just say, Ted Cruz for the moment has momentum with evangelicals, which was and in part is still your strong suit. Donald Trump has white working class who feel disaffected and they hate D.C. insiders. You're certainly not an establishment GOP candidate, so what makes you stand out? And I say that because I can tell you your stance on supporting higher minimum wage has jumped out at me. You're not afraid to say that the GOP has to stop being the party that says no to higher wages for those clinging to the threads of big business's coattails.
Well, I think again, it goes back to being the party of those who are working and struggling and trying to rise in America. The reality is the Democrats are right that we've hollowed out the middle of America. What they're wrong about is what policies caused that. Their policies have caused it. And what we need to do is have, as I mentioned, pro-growth policies that make us competitive in manufacturing, bring jobs back to this country, which the left has driven off from their environmental policy and tax policy, regulatory policy. So we have to have good business policies. But we also have to be looking out for the little guy. And, I'm the guy that was the author of welfare reform here. And I didn't eliminate welfare. We sent it back to the states. We block granted it. We put a work requirement and time limits on it. So we can't be the anti-government party. We have to be a party that says there's certain things Washington does, there's certain things the states do, and we have to design programs that are going to work and be effective for people. And again, I think that makes me different than everybody else in this race. And you mentioned the social conservative issues. It's a very important piece of this puzzle, and Ted Cruz, you're right, is doing very well. But I think you'll see as articles are being written, there's a big difference between his position, which is basically let the states do whatever they want, and my position which is there is a moral law, the moral code that we have to live by, and our laws should reflect that code. And that's a very different point of view than Senator Cruz has, and I think ones and Iowans now, when they start to focus, are going to see a real difference between the two of us.
In the race to get endorsements, Trey Gowdy has apparently planned to endorse Marco Rubio. Does that hurt you? Who have you got in the wings that you would like to say, I'm ready, he's going to support me, she's going to support me?
Well, I mean, we've gotten endorsements from about 200 Iowa leaders already who have agreed to sign up and be our county chairs across the state of Iowa and to be caucus chairs. I'm not really interested. I've never, even 4 years ago, when I was leading in the polls, I didn't go out and search for a lot of endorsements. I don't think they're important. I think what's important is the people in the state who step up and support you, and for you to be able to go out there and articulate that message. But I'm not looking for someone else to vouch for me. I'll go directly to the people myself.
Senator Rick Santorum, we'll wait and see if they respond. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming on the show.